It's the Retro Philosophy Show. Go on and tell everybody you know. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lottie Dottie, and I'm in the building hanging out with Retro. Keep it locked, and don't you dare touch that dial.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? You already know what it is. It's your boy Retro with you on this morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice, and I'm going to be glad. And I want to say thank you to everyone who pressed play already, and we're appreciative of you. Let's go ahead and get this show started, man. You already know how we like to do it here on the Retro Philosophy Show, don't you? Hashtag press play.
Hashtag press play. It's the Retro Philosophy Show. You know, let's go.
Say, man, you know what it is, man. Special guest in the building. Much love and respect to my man Retro stopping through, y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Big Cell. You still keeping it 100.
Hey now, this is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO, home of the Moto Mob where legends are made. You are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. Press play.
What's up, everybody? This is your man Pablo Frescobar on the Retro Philosophy Podcast, talking about my newly published book, Courage Unveiled, Navigating the Battlefield Within.
Yo, what up? This is Marvin Gibson, aka Big Gip, and you are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Retro Philosophy Show, where I always listen to my man 50 Grand, Pastor Retro. You know what it is.
Listen, God knows all things. And because he knows all things, he does nothing without intentionality. So if he allowed you to wake up this morning, you ought to live like God wanted you to live on purpose.
Hey, I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. It's your boy Retro, man. Today is going to be a good day. We talked about it on yesterday. Today is a good day to be a good day, okay? Now, I hopefully you guys took heed and listened and put it into place, put it into practice, and made yesterday a good day. Today, we want to talk about the way it's got to be. You know, and check it out, man. There are some things that happens in life. You know, it is what it is. We can, first of all, let me not be so rude. Good morning to Two Willing It in the building, a.k.a., or I should say Maxwell, a.k.a. Two Willing It. Shout out to Leandra Smith in the building. You already know what it is. Young ground pounder on the move, making it do what it do. One of Retro's rising stars. Well, Retro is deeming her a rising star. So anyway, keep your eyes on her, man, for good things, because she's out the gate and she's making it do what it do. Shout out to her and Ladies on Twos, I believe it is, out of Jacksonville, Florida. And let's make some noise for them once again. Whew. Yeah, so you know, there are things that happens in life that you just have no control over. But there comes a time sometimes when we must be still. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." Okay. But that's what the Bible says. Be still and know that I am God. It is not everything that we are to address. It is not everything that we are supposed to fight. He said the enemy, I'm getting ready to preach, y'all, and Lord knows I'm trying to save it for this weekend. But he says the enemy that you see today, you shall see them again no more forever. Now, let me pause for the cause, because the reality is some of us think that we're fighting against an enemy when in all actuality, it ain't your enemy. They might be confused. I tell you all the time. Where's my y'all see what that hat says? Y'all ain't ready for that right there. But I don't even wear it anymore. I don't wear it anymore. Because I found. Oh, hold on, wait one second. We got Natalie James in the building. Let's make some noise. Good morning, young lady. How are you doing? The reason why I don't wear it anymore is because number one, hear me good, folks. Let me turn the music off. Your vibe will attract your tribe. And if you've got that vibe that you love haters, or you haters this, haters that, every time you turn on haters, guess what you're gonna keep attracting? Haters. So I don't wear the hat anymore because I found out that your haters are really confused admirers. They admire you more than they have the kahuntas to admit. And it is up to you, come on, somebody, to live your life in such a way and to carry yourself in such a way that they convert. Yeah, I've already been through the water and I've already been baptized. Yeah. You got to live your life in such a way that they get converted. I'm just saying. The more you fight, Charmaine, how you doing? Let's make some noise for Charmaine in the building. Thank you for that subscription, young lady. Thank you so very much. I like that you have to be careful who you allow to just. Yeah, you got. Come on, sister. Now, come on. Let's tag team this thing. You have to be careful who you allow to disturb your peace, which is why I talk so often about the fact that you should not take offense, because if you take offense, then that's what you did. You just took it. It might have been offensive, but that doesn't mean it has to offend you. It's all about the way you process things, and it's all about your perspective. Okay, all right. What we were saying. So the haters, okay, they're not haters. They might be what's a word we can use here? I was going to say disgruntled. That's not what I want to use, even though that may be the case. It may even fit there in terms of the so-called haters. But they're damaged. They're hurt, and hurting people hurt people. And I watched a show one time called Pit Bulls and Parolees. Anybody ever saw that show on? I think it might have been on Animal Planet or something like that. It's about these folks who did time, and they get out and they're being rehabilitated or what have you. And it's this lady who has this company where she rescues dogs and all that stuff, mainly pit bulls and stuff. But the point is this: in that show and other shows like it, there are animals that have been abused, neglected, hurt, wounded, etc., and they are left to fend for themselves. And therefore, anything that approaches them, they view it as a threat. Who am I talking to on this morning? I hope you're listening. They view everything as a threat. Now, just because they view it that way doesn't mean that it is that way. One's perception is one's reality. Are you picking up what I'm putting down on this morning? Okay. And so in this show and other shows like it, these animals are wounded. They've been neglected. They're starving, and they're fighting for their life. And anything that comes near them, they perceive it to be a threat because they've been hurt so much and so long by so many and everybody. And so what happens is, Bolo, what's going on, man? Let's make some noise for Bolo in the building. I love it that the folks that come on the Retro Philosophy Show have manners and they speak when they come into the room. I love that about you guys. You guys are a special group of people. Let's make some noise for you guys, man. I'm telling you, man. I appreciate you guys. And so the animal, they can be dangerous if dealt with not according to knowledge. See, you're dealing with people according to the experience and not according to knowledge. The Bible says, with all thine getting, get understanding, And so I know that Bolo hit me. He hurt me. He I'm gonna just use him for an example because I know he won't mind. It's just an example here. But I can't base Bolo off of the experience. I've got to filter it through understanding. I've got to filter it through knowledge. Now, I know that Bolo has been, I don't know, I can't even think of anything to fit here, but whatever it is the explanation for his actions. Now, the explanation for his actions don't make his actions right, but it will affect your response to his actions, whether right or wrong. I'm just trying to spit a little retro philosophy on this morning. That's all, guys. That's all. Okay. And so when we begin to get understanding and get knowledge, even though what you did to me hurt, it doesn't affect me the same. And so let's get back to the show, Pit Bulls and Parolees. And so they're going to rescue a dog that has been abandoned, that has been abused. I believe in this case, it might have, it was a fight dog. It was trained to fight. It was trained to kill, you know. And when they went to get the dog, they went to retrieve the dog, they went to rescue the dog. Guess what the dog did? The dog attacked. Well, he didn't really attack. He protected. And see, sometimes we perceive protection as an attack. They didn't. Y'all got to hear me good, because you are discounting people and you are putting people in the hater category when really they need healing, and you are the healer. Y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready for this. And so that was not an attack. That was their only means of protection. And so the dog protected itself as they came toward him and bit the person. And the person was bleeding, but they weren't mad because they understood the situation. And so what they did was they reapproached the dog from another approach, and things went successfully. You cannot dispose of people because they mishandled you the first time. I think everybody deserves at least 2 times to do wrong to you. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, do as much as you can to control the, but nevertheless, stop perceiving people as attacking you when in all actuality they were just protecting themselves. Now, granted, they don't have the best skills nor approach. I mean, I'm saying, But we've got to understand, folks, that they are not your haters. They are confused admirers. And you got to keep doing what you do, because you can, by the grace of God and being used by God, convert them. Okay. I don't know if you've ever had an enemy that became a friend. I have. Okay. And it's a beautiful thing. Okay. You have to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So pray for them and move on. Yeah. See, when protecting our peace, if all you have is a piece of peace, you're going to fight tooth and nail to protect that piece of peace. Y'all missed that. Somebody got to catch that. So we talk about and I'm not saying this about you, Natalie. So please, but I'm speaking in general. We talk about we're protecting our peace when in all actuality, we really don't have peace. We have a peace, but we don't have peace. Okay. All right. And when protecting our peace, we're really just like that pit bull that I just explained or described. We are, man, it's a dog backed into a corner is a dangerous thing. I remember my Aunt Charlotte, she had these cats, Sybil. Oh, everybody hated that cat. That cat was from hell. I'm telling you, Auntie Charlotte. I'm sorry. You forgive your nephew, but that cat was demon. That cat was a demon. Sybil. It was a Siamese kitten. And to this day, I don't like Siamese cats because of that cat right there. But when I tell you that cat was evil, and then it messed around and had a litter of kittens, and them little kittens were little devil personified imps. I'm just saying them things was terrible, man. And so, she couldn't keep them all. And so she was getting rid of them. She was, I think she was giving them away or something like that. And so they had to collect all the kittens. And so they collected the kittens, and about maybe 2 or 3 of them, they ran behind the dresser. I'll never forget it. We was in my grandmama's house down in West Virginia. My God from glory. And my Uncle Nate, oh, God rest his soul. My Uncle Nate, actually my Uncle Nate, my Uncle John, everybody was trying to get these kittens, right? And And to no avail. My Uncle John, I remember he going down there, he come back screaming, you know, and them cats was scratching him. He all scratched up and everything. And my Uncle Nate, you know, big, y'all move out the way. Y'all scared of these little cats. And he get on back to trying to get them cats. And sure enough, them cats went to loose on him and scratched him every which way but loose. Boy, I tell you, everybody came running up out of there. But what am I saying? What I'm saying is, when you back someone who is afraid into a corner, it could get ugly, man. It could get ugly. And what we do is we blame them for their actions, and we take no time to understand their plight. We take no time to understand what pushed them to that point, what got them to that place. And you say, well, it ain't my job to do it. Well, you know, maybe not. I'm saying maybe not. All I'm simply trying to say is, we've got to change things as it relates to how we see people, how we deal with people, how we handle people, and how we dispose of people. Listen to me. If you've watched any of my shows, you probably heard me say this once or twice. People are not disposable. Okay? And so sometimes you got to understand it's the way it has to be. Yeah. This is the way it has to be. Now, your little feelings got hurt because your BFF is no longer your BFF, you know, and y'all had a little fallout, and I hope y'all get that together. I hope y'all mend that. But in that fallout, what did you learn? Yeah. You know, see, many a times we can learn from the fallout and we could fix it, but we won't let go of our pride. So what we'll do a lot of times is we'll walk away with the lesson. You know, we'll learn what we should have learned, but we fail to repair what was damaged. People are not disposable is all I'm trying to say. You guys may never go back to the Caribbean together. You may never go back to the Bahamas together. You may never go back to Mexico together. You may never go to Ireland together on those BFF trips but that doesn't mean they need to become your enemy. Furthermore, you know, I'm trying to enjoy life. And I don't know if you know what it feels like, literally, to have to always look over your shoulder. I've been there, and I ain't trying to go back. It's not, you know, it's exhausting. And that was one of the greatest things when I got saved, when I gave my life to the Lord and he turned things around. I never forget that night. It was a Wednesday night. I went home and I slept for what seemed like the first time in forever. I hadn't a care in the world. There was a time when I would change my route on the way home every single night. Sometimes I would double back and, you know, make sure I didn't have nobody follow me, this, that, and the other. It was crazy. And it's no way to live. And I'm trying to live my life in such a way that anybody can walk up on me and I have nothing to worry about because I ain't done nothing to nobody, ain't doing nothing to nobody. Come on, somebody. And furthermore, you know, God got me covered. But the reality is, folks, some of us, some of y'all are out there collecting enemies like they're points on the Monopoly board. You know, and that just don't make no sense. I know you know how to fight, but you can't maneuver like you used to once upon a time. So, you know, I'm saying. And furthermore, let's talk about that. You 48 years old and you still ready to fight? You 53 years old and you still ready to, you know, you still want that smoke? Come on, bro. Come on, sis. We too old for that stuff. It sickens me and saddens me when you're out in public and you see another brother and you give him the, you know, and he just mean mugging. Bro, you too old to be mean mugging. I mean, you know, every time you see another black man, white man, red man, orange man, you know, purple man, you know, you ought to give him the respect that he's due as a human being and give him or her the friendly nod. I'm just saying, folks, you know, because, you know, the Bible talks about, well, my mama said this. This ain't the Bible. Y'all forgive me. My mama said, and your mama probably said it too. Ain't no fool like an old fool. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. Watch this, y'all.
Yo, what up? This is Marvin Gibson, aka Big Gift, and you are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show.
What up, Moby? Moby is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go over there and check out his podcast, Do You Ride. I got the sweater right there, man. It's out of my reach. Otherwise, I grab it, but it's right there. And so make sure you guys go and check out his podcast, man. Great podcast, great dude, great perspective. He says, a life of peace is the greatest gift you can have. Yes, sir. Look at here, man. When God brings you out of something, why you gonna try and go back? I got stories for days, man. I ain't gonna tell y'all because y'all gonna think I'm lying. So ain't no need for me to even go into it. But when God takes you out of something, what you going back for? I'm saying he delivered you. Brought you to a place of peace. The Bible, we often talk about, he brought me out of darkness into his marvelous light. You still looking back into the darkness. The devil is a lie. I ain't running from nobody. I ain't wanted. I don't owe nobody nothing. Come on, somebody. I'm free as a bird. Come on now here. If I owe somebody, it might be just like $5. I give it to you next payday, you know. But come on now. And furthermore, you know, I got me a nice little motorcycle too. I can get on that thing and ride. Man, look at here. I ain't trying to get to certain states and then talk about, oh, we got to go around this state because, you know, I might have some issues. Nah, bro. I'm going where I want to go. You know what I mean? So that whole part right up in there. You understand what I'm saying, Bolo? Natalie says, yes, Moby, thumbs up. Definitely, man. A life of peace is the greatest gift you can have. Don't spoil it. Yeah, don't spoil it. You know, that's the way it's got to be. You know, sometimes, look at here, you ain't going to win every fight. And when I say fight, I'm not talking about a physical altercation. I'm talking about a intellectual impasse, you know, where you're not seeing eye to eye, you're not on the same page. That's okay. Sometimes you losing that battle allows you to win the whole war. Because we are in a war, folks. We are in a war for humanity. And so we have to be careful what we spark and what we perpetuate. Because some of us didn't spark it. You didn't get the fire going, but you sure is fanning it. Yeah, you sure is fanning it. That's why I want to challenge. I want to awaken. I want to beg, beseech, plead with all of these content creators to be intentional, be mindful, be strategic, be helpful. Be an example, and let us change the narrative. Change the narrative as it relates to unity, as it relates to working together. Listen to me, man. We got GQ coming up on Monday coming. He's going to be on the Retro Philosophy Show. He's been on here before as a pop-up guest, if you will, but he's going to be the main guest on Monday. GQ has an event going on the end of this month called Unleash the Peace, I believe it is. It's a peace. He's got the Peace Army thing going on. It's the same day as our event. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to get him on the Retro Philosophy Show, and we're going to promote his event, even though it's on the same day as our event. Because everybody ain't coming to my event and everybody ain't going to his event, but the people that go to his event are meant to be at his event, and the people that come to our event is meant to be at our event. I would have been there, but it just so happened we didn't know we were planning something on the same date. What are you saying, Retro? What I'm saying is it is important that we as influencers, if you will, content creators, that we display a work of unity. Because now one of us are here to compete, but we're here to complement each other. Okay, so you will. And look at here, I got my man Moby. I got my homegirl. Bada boom, bada bang.
This is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO, home of the Moto Mob, where legends are made. You are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. Press play.
2024 Titan recipient Shaquilla Bussey in the building. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. CEO of Moto Mob, Virginia, Tennessee, or I should say Memphis, Tennessee still. And she's got some more in the works. Shh, don't tell nobody, but a whole bunch of them gonna be popping up. Okay, and you already know what it is. The man who laid the blueprint.
Say, man, you know what it is, man. Special guest in the building. Much love and respect to my man Retro stopping through, y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Big Cell. You still
Keeping it 100.
100.
As we are supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen. And so this thing about working together is very important. And we have the tools to make sure, because see, once upon a time, it took a whole lot longer to get a narrative out there, to get a agenda moving or mobile, if you will, But now with the internet and all these different platforms that so many of us have, and check it out, the people that Moby reach might not necessarily know who I am, and vice versa. But if we all work together, we can share a common narrative. Come on, somebody. We can nourish it, sustain it, promote it, push it, all that good stuff. Because that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. It's almost like hip hop back in the day. I'm talking back in like the, and like the 80s when hip hop was hip hop, and it's like, especially up on the East Coast, man. You had rappers for days, man. And they all rock together. And that's what we've got to do, folks. So if you are a content creator, if you are an entrepreneur, and you want to do your thing here on the Retro Philosophy Show, we want you to know that we are all for it, and we encourage it, and we will definitely make it do what it do. I'm looking for my man. Where you at, boss man? There we go. Eddie Bird in the building, making it do what it do, man. LEDs and bags. Cool brother, man. I mean, like for real, cool brother. And he puts out an excellent product. Sound system, motorcycle accessories. This bike on the screen is one that he built himself, and I've got to get the address so I can attach it to this image. Matter of fact, we're gonna get him a whole commercial done. How about that? Because my man is doing big things, and I like the way that he's doing it. And so that's my spiel on that, guys. Okay, so make sure you guys tune in on Monday at 8 p.m. Teamwork makes the dream work, man. Bada boom, bada bang. Yeah, it makes it teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And see, so here's the thing. Moby is hot right now. I mean, Moby's doing the thing, man. He's blowing up all over. All kinds of different countries and everything, right? And so what we're gonna do? We're gonna get behind him. We're gonna push him because he green right now. He on fire, And but guess what? Getting behind him and under him and supporting him and pushing him and all that stuff, it puts him in a position that he can then help you later on down the road. Now, you ain't gonna get nothing for free. Now we're not talking about that. Don't ain't no entitled stuff and nothing like that. Get in where you fit in, and what's yours gonna fall to you. I'm just saying. Today is his day. Tomorrow's my day. Look here. God don't always pay on Friday, but He always pays on payday. Every dog gets his day. And so what we got to stop doing is we got to stop, pocket watching our brothers and sisters. Look, it's their time. They hot right now. Let me stay out the way so I don't interfere with what they got going on, because when it's my time to shine, I'll shine. And they'll be right there fanning my flame because I fanned their flame. And if they don't, you know what? Oh, well, I didn't do it so they could do it in return. I did it because it was the right thing. And then you sit there and talk about, well, I did all this for them and they ain't do nothing for me. Well, first of all, do you really know what's going on in their situation? See, you think they're not doing it because they don't want to, but they could have a whole nother situation going on that you don't know about. I get so tired of people looking at people from the surface and just swearing up and down that they sitting on a boatload of money and just swearing up and down that they got everything together and just choose not to do what you think they should do. When in all actuality, man, they're doing the best they can to keep their home afloat. They're doing the best they can to keep their uncle's home afloat, their mama's home afloat. I'm just saying, that may not be the literal situation, but, they're stretched far and wide. And we get an attitude because they're not doing what we think they should be doing, but you don't even really understand what's on their plate. You don't understand the weight that's on their shoulders. They're doing the best they can to just get up in the morning, let alone, show up for you. And here's the deal. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep it moving because I had no intentions of going here. But sometimes you never look at it that way until some slimy, sleazy, low down creep plants the seed of discord. They plant that seed of discord. Now you can't unsee it. Now, I didn't say it was true or right, but that seed was planted, and now your perception has been poisoned. The Bible talks about leaven. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Yeah, and so now you're looking at Ray all cross-eyed and sideways because of what that creep said, with the intentions of stirring up mess. It's just like somebody leave a group or whatever for whatever reason, but then always trying to speak back to people in the group to poison their mind about the group. And look, if you leave, just leave. Okay, oops, I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to say that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me mind my business and just keep it moving. So we got to be very careful, okay? Because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what they're dealing with, okay? We're starting a segment, Biking on a Budget. We'll be talking a little bit about that on Monday night with GQ as well. Talking about some different things that we can do to get across these state lines if you're working with a limited budget. Now, some of y'all ballers, y'all can just throw it up in the air and just go wherever you want to go. But everybody ain't positioned like that. Everybody's not positioned like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So anyway, you see somebody with a pretty bike and you just, okay, let me move on. We'll save it for Monday. But that's the way it's got to be. There are some difficult things that occurred and come up in life. But through it, you become a better person, a stronger person, a wiser person. And so without it, you wouldn't be who you are right now. You wouldn't be who you are right now. There's a saying, the brook would lose its song if it wasn't for the stones. There's some stones in our lives, but it created a beautiful song. Years ago, I may have shared this before here on the Retro Philosophy Show, but years ago, as a matter of fact, I tell you, it was back in 2006. Yeah, right around 2006, 2007. I had just opened up Uppercuts downtown Main Street in Mooresville, and we were getting the little shop up off the ground, and so I was in my zone. I had that tunnel vision. I just had to, and the wife had scheduled a little trip. We had gotten into this whole camping thing, and so she scheduled a site up at Deep Creek Camp Center in Bryson City, North Carolina. Beautiful campsite, guys. And I didn't really want to go because I'm saying I got to get this shop going, and I didn't want to step away from it. I felt that just that weekend, it was about maybe 3 or 4 days. It was too long to be away because I was just focused. And so anyway, lo and behold, I lost that battle. Yeah, okay. And here we go. Watch it. Yeah. And I'm glad I did. So we get up there now. I had an old 72 Chevrolet, long bed, hooked up to the camper, man, and kids were little then, man, and we going up that mountain and everything, and we got there late. We got there late that night, way later than we had intended. And so when we get there, I had already been in touch with the folks. They said, well, if you don't make it by such and such time, we won't be able to get you checked in into the morning and blah, blah, blah. So we get there now, guys, and we had to just right in front of the entryway, we just kind of pulled over and got back in the camper and just, waited till daylight, And so we get up now and we get in, we get checked in, and we get over there, we get the camper set up and everything sorted out. And I took in, when I finally laid down, I was out. Tired, right? But here's the kicker. It's called Deep Creek for a reason, because a creek runs all the way down from the national park down through the campsite, and it's singing this song. The stones and the rocks and everything that's in the brook, that's in the creek, causes the water to make certain sounds. You already know what it is, right? But it was so relaxing. I mean, it was like a lullaby that just rocked me to sleep. And what I'm saying is, without the stones and the rocks and the obstacles of life, your song wouldn't be the same. Now, let me tell you this. Get a little scriptural here now on you. The Bible talks about the angels and how they are praising God and everything. But we also understand that when we get to heaven, anybody going to heaven, just raise your hand in the comment section if you plan on going to heaven. Okay. When we get there, we will have a song that the angels themselves cannot sing. You want to know what that song is? I have been redeemed. Whew. My God, I don't know about you, man, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And so stop looking at what you are up against and what you are going through as a problem, but look at it as an opportunity for you to get to know God on another level. If you never been sick, you wouldn't know him as a healer. Come on, somebody. If you've never been in lack, you wouldn't know him as a provider. I need a witness up in this sanctified church on this here morning. Come on, do that Pentecostal bounce for me, y'all. That apostolic buck, somebody, just feel the presence of the Lord, right? He's gonna do it, y'all. All right. Let me stop. But real talk, man. Hold on now. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I feel that right there. Yeah, it's got to be this way, folks. Yeah. Come on now. I know the devil said you down for the count. Yeah, but while I'm down, I'm going to pray. Yeah, that was come on now. That was the last thing he should have never knocked me down, because I was standing up and I was trying to do it on my own strength and on my own accord. But he knocked me down and I ended in the right position on my knees. Come on, somebody. And since I'm down here, I'm going to have a talk with the Lord. Lord, it's me again. And I'm standing in need. You see and you know God was up against me, was surrounding me, God, what's going on. And I have no might against this great host that comes against me, but my eyes are upon you, oh Lord. Somebody say amen up in this church on this here morning. God is going to do what he said he would do. I don't need no amens now. I done shifted into a place, oh my God, where I know what I know. Yes, Lord, I praise God, man. I do, man. God's been good to me and he's being good to me. And guess what? Everything ain't perfect. Everything ain't the way I want it to be. Bernie, what's going on? Let's make some noise for Bernie in the building on today. Anybody else a witness that God can do exceeding abundantly and above all you're able to ask or even? It's got to be that way. The devil had to think he had the upper hand. I mean, come on now. You had to lose what you had so you can gain everything you don't have. I can't get no help up in here, man. Let me just go ahead and shut this thing down and just go into my secret closet and give God a super praise. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. How y'all feeling on today, man? Boy. When I think of the goodness of Jesus. Yes, Lord. And all that he has done for me. Yeah, come on, Moby. I got a witness in the building. I got a witness in the building, y'all. I got a witness in the building. I'm just saying, I got a witness, y'all. Okay, check it out, man. What looks bad right now looks bad because you're seeing it through your lens. But if you see it through the lens of God, then you will understand that it's working together for your good. Right where you is. I know you missed the bus, but missing the bus saved your life. I know you lost a job, but losing that job freed you so you can see God was calling you to your own business. I just need you to understand what I'm saying. It had to be this way. Okay? Now it ain't gonna stay this way, but it had to be. You know, Jesus said, he said, the Bible says, I can't remember exactly what book and verse, but it said he must needs go through Samaria. Normally they would avoid that area like the plague, but it said he must needs go through Samaria because there was a Samaritan woman there that he had to encounter. And some of you are in places that you never thought you would be in a million years. But there's an encounter that you must encounter. Come on now. And you've got to see it through the lens of God. Stop murmuring and complaining. Stop guessing and squirming and just be. I told the church last night during Bible study, if you didn't catch us for Bible study, go and check it out. We're still talking about getting back on Okay, and you've got to understand, folks, and getting back on task, you cannot be consumed with asking God why. You just simply have to ask him how. Talk about that in a minute. Bernie says, funny that you are talking about what God is going to do, what he is going to do. I just came from a mission trip out of Mexico, I believe, right, Bernie? Side country, and the flight got delayed and missed the connecting flights, but God managed to find seats on the right flights to make it home on time and safe. That part right there. Won't he do it? It's funny that you say that, Bernie, because true story, I heard another preacher talking about that. He was using that same situation as an example because they missed the flight. The flight was no, I think did they miss the flight or the flight was delayed? Either they missed it or the flight was delayed, and they ended up having to take another flight that ended up getting them there. Even though they left later, they still got there on time. It was just, you just can't beat God, in other words. And so, it's funny because my dad, when he retired, he went and he worked for Delta for a number of years. My sister worked for U.S. Airways straight out of high school, and she was there for I don't know, maybe 20 years or so. And so naturally, being his son and her sibling, I had access to flights. I'd fly to Jamaica for like $35 round trip and stuff like that. Flying to Miami for like, $30, but I had to ride what they called a buddy pass, which meant I could be bumped. Okay. So there were plenty of times where, I would check the flights, which is what you were recommended to do. Check the flights, make sure, because you could see the availability on the flight, And so I would get to the airport, and based on my research, I had very good chances of getting on this flight and getting to my destination. I get to the connecting flight, and all of a sudden things change, and now I get bumped, and now I'm stuck in the airport. Sometimes, hours, and there's even been times when overnight, But during all of this stuff, I learned, number one, not to sweat it for two reasons. The obvious reason is, if I got up there and acted a fool, number one, I ain't paid but $35 for a round trip flight to Jamaica. Okay, so I come on now, right? But in addition to that, I am a representative of my sister or my dad, depending on which one I was flying on, right? And so I couldn't get up there and act a fool and embarrass my sister, so just chill, right? And number two, and maybe the most important, can you imagine fussing to get on a flight only for something bad to happen? In other words, sometimes we miss things in life and it saves our life. You know how many stories I heard about people who just didn't go to work on 9/11 and they were supposed to be in that building when all that happened? There's another gentleman that will remain nameless, but he was working at a particular establishment, okay, and he calls out, not going to be able to make it, and another young lady took his shift, and some thug, hoodlum, coward came in there, robbed the store, and killed that young lady. Now, it's difficult for him because he had survivor's remorse, because if he'd went to work, it would have been him and not her. But the point is, some things are the way it has to be. And we got to stop fighting for what God is trying to ensure that we miss. Are you catching me? Possibly, maybe. Okay, all right. It's your boy Retro with you on today, man. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and I will be glad in it. And I'm gonna come to grips. I'm gonna come to grips with the fact that a lot of stuff that's happening is you said, well, that wasn't God's perfect plan. It don't have to be his perfect plan for it to work together according to his plan. What they did, it was wrong. But if you keep your hand in the master's hand, you'll come out on top. If you choose not to take offense. See, this is why we cannot take offense, because when people do dirty stuff to us, we can't let that dirt get on us, let alone get in us. Because if we do, then those are the type of results we will get. Okay. So in other words, if you stay clean, your heart, I'm talking about, your hands might be dirty because you got to work overtime and they all oily and got all kind of dirt and grime underneath your nails. Hands is dirty, but your heart is clean. Some people got clean hands and dirty hearts. We'll talk about that on a whole nother day. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation. And so I'm doing everything within my power to keep a clean heart. All right. So I guess I'll close on this note. Again, don't ask God why so much, but begin to ask God how. Not why is this happening to me, God, but God, how do I maneuver through this? How do you want me to respond in this situation? Not why did they do that to me, God, but how can I glorify you in the midst of this? Change your question from why to how, and I promise you things will change and for the better. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to finish my cup of coffee in honor of my homeboy, Jason Jiggers, a.k.a. The Percolator. And let's see here. Make sure you guys tune in on Monday night. I don't know if I'll go live Monday morning. I've got a lot going on this weekend. We're going to be laying my uncle to rest on tomorrow. Plan is to leave later on tonight to get up with the family. And we'll lay him to rest on tomorrow. And yeah. And so Monday morning, I'll probably just be getting back home, and I probably won't be up for a Monday morning show. We'll see. We will get up Monday night, though, to do our Monday night show. And so we'll be talking about Unleash the Peace, the Peace Army ride that GQ's got going on. We'll also be talking about biking on a budget. So you don't want to miss this show. I think it'll be very informative. And I think it'd be very good. Okay, so make sure you guys tune into that. Tomorrow is Friday. We won't be going live tomorrow either. So I don't know. I might do a little snippet here or there, or whatever. But chances are we probably won't be going live tomorrow either. So this will be our last live for the weekend. And thank you, Natalie. Thank you so very much, young lady, for that. Please do keep us in your prayers. Because it's not easy laying a loved one to rest. It's not easy losing a loved one. I will tell you this, for those of you who still have your loved ones living, love them on purpose. Love them out loud. Love them intentionally. That way, when the time comes for them to check out, come on now, you won't have regret. You'll still mourn, you'll still miss them, but you won't have regret. And that's how I have determined to live my life. I'm loving folks on purpose. I'm loving folks out loud. I'm telling you, man, because when they leave here, I don't want to be like, oh God, I should have told them. I wish I would have. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. When my father passed, that was part of the saving grace. I loved him on purpose. I loved him out loud. I was there for him. I did what I could do. And when he left here, my bill was paid. Yeah, I was caught up on my bill. I didn't owe my dad anything. Come on, somebody. I honored him as a father. In my younger years, I bumped my head and called myself hating him. And learned so much from that. If there was a regret, that was it. And it wasn't a long time, but it was I don't know, maybe a couple years where I was dumb, and I never disrespected him. But well, I guess there were times when I did, but it wasn't like teenagers and stuff. But I tell you, man, what happened for me, what the turnaround was, and I know I got to get out of here, but the turnaround, maybe this will help somebody. The turnaround for me, as it pertained to my dad, I was about maybe 15, 16 years old during this time, and my grandfather got sick, and I just, even at a young age, it was just something I knew that if I didn't go see my grandfather, at that time, I wouldn't see him again alive. And so I remember my father was going down there, and at this time I didn't want much to do with my dad, and but I wanted to see my grandfather because I felt it would very well be the last time, and of course it did end up being the last time. And so we drove down to New Jersey from Massachusetts, and we got to New Jersey, picked up my uncle Buddy, which was my father's. He was after my father. My father was the oldest son, and then came Uncle Buddy. And anyway, the two of them were really close, always had been. And I get in the back seat, and my dad and my uncle are in the front seat, and they're talking about everything. They're talking about growing up. They're talking about life. They're talking about, the service. They talked about so much. And, from Jersey to Warsaw, North Carolina, I'd say it was probably about maybe a 9-hour trip, 10-hour trip, give or take. And during that time, it's like I was in school, I was in class, and I was learning so much about my father. I was able to see him from a different lens, from a different perspective. And that's what changed everything for me. That was the best drive of my life. And from there, my grandfather, he did pass. And my grandfather was a giant, in my eyes. He meant so much. He represented so much. I just esteemed him so high, and my dad, our relationship turned for the better. And from then on out, man, it was just, but those few years where I had bumped my head, if there was any regrets, it would be that I had let that time last longer than it should have. But me and my dad, man, we had a great relationship, man. We were, we had so much in common, and I enjoyed spending time with my pops, man. He had retired and moved to Jacksonville, and then when we moved to North Carolina, we was only 6 hours away, so that was even better. And man, I'd burn up that interstate heading down into Jacksonville, man, seeing my dad and stuff like that. We would go to car shows together because he loved his old school cars. He had a 46 Ford F100, and it was my granddaddy's truck. And then my uncle got it, and my dad got it from my uncle, and then my dad just went bananas with it and just, frame off restoration. The thing was, he took trophies everywhere he went. I got a whole bunch of trophies that he got with that truck, and so we spent a lot of time together at those different car shows and things like that. One year we took and went up to Dollywood, Tennessee, up there in Sevierville, wherever it is. They have a big car show up that way. And I was down at Myrtle Beach at a men's conference. I'm going to tell you this story and I'm going to get out the way. And the men's conference ended on that Saturday, I believe it was. Yes, Saturday afternoon. And so I was talking to my dad. He said, yeah, I'm getting ready to go on up here to Tennessee. And matter of fact, I think he was already up there. He was already up there when I talked to him. And I said, oh, for real? I said, I'm going to meet you up there, Pops. And so him and my uncle and their wives, they had went up there. And so I got back from Myrtle Beach. By the time I got home, I don't know, it might have been about maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever. And I laid down for about an hour or two, got up, jumped in my 66 Buick Special. What? Hey, hit that interstate, man, and went on up there to Tennessee. Oh, man, I had that thing wide open, man. And, man, we got up there, man. It was a great weekend, man. Great weekend. And it's just memories like that, that I continue to cherish and feed off of, I guess you could say. They make memories, guys. Yeah, make memories with your folks while you can, because the time will come when you can't. Okay, and so don't miss those opportunities. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Bernie. He said, "Amen. I paid my bill too. I've been so blessed that God put me in my dad's life." That part right there. And you know what? Maybe we ought to do a show about this, guys. Maybe we will. I'm going to say this, though. Okay, guys? Stop holding your parents hostage because of what they didn't do when you thought they should have. Okay? Okay, maybe daddy wasn't there when you was 12 and 13 and 14 and 15 or 16 or whatever. But the reality is we need our parents at every stage of life. And so just because they weren't there in the first part, or maybe they were absent in the second part, look, forgive them and move on. Forgive them and move on, man. Because I look at my son and my daughter and how they grew and how they're growing. And the father I was to them when they were toddlers is different than the father I was to them when they were preteens and teenagers, and now they're young adults. And our relationships have grown. They have evolved. Okay, and so sometimes they might not be there, and when I say they, I'm referring to the parents. Okay, they might not have been there during a certain time of your life. But now here you are in your 40s. You might be going through midlife crisis or whatever. They may be the perfect fit for that phase of your life. So don't rob yourself or deny them of the opportunity, come on now, to be and do who they can be and do for you in that phase of your life. Don't hold them hostage because they wasn't there for your, for your soccer game, or they wasn't there to see you off to the prom. I mean, do you know what they were going through? Do you know what they were dealing with? Do you know what caused them not to? And they were strung out on drugs. Well, what caused them to get strung out on drugs? I mean, if you're going to tell the story, tell the whole story. We like to tell what people did. They were strung out on drugs, and when I needed them, they were never there. Well, they didn't know how to be there for themselves, let alone anybody else. It doesn't make the fact that they were strung out on drugs right. But when you put everything into context, you can get understanding. And let me tell you this, without understanding, there can be no healing. Think about it. Yeah, especially as it relates to emotional stuff. Without understanding, there can be no healing. Yeah, you might move on and you might learn how to work around it and work through it, but there's no real healing. You're constantly changing bandages because you've yet to get understanding. Again, earlier I said, with all thine getting, get understanding. Okay? And so you are constantly changing bandages because you've yet to be healed. I'm going to close on that because I can't follow that with nothing else. That right there. Yeah. Bada boom. Bada bang. Yeah. Okay. It's your boy Retro, man. I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna get out the way, man, and make it do what it do. As I say, I ain't gonna hold you. All right. Let me see. Nick, what's going on, my man? 100 grand. What's going, ladies and gentlemen? Let's make some noise for the one and only Mr. Holly in the building, making it do what it do. That's my man right there, bro. I'm just trying to tell you. And don't let the smooth taste fool you. I was gonna say Negro. This ninja will ride a motorcycle like a scalded dog. I'm just like, dude, man. Come on, bro. You go easy on us on these Harleys. He out there on that daggone go way, trying to make us guys on these Harleys look bad. And I don't know if I quite appreciate that or not. I love him. I love you and everything, but I think I need to be healed. Let me get some understanding, Lord. Let me help me understand why Nick Holly rides that Honda the way he rides that Honda, so I can be healed, because I think my feeling was hurt a little bit. What's going on, Mr. Holly? I hope all is well with you and the beautiful bride, and all things is just going the way you desire it to go. I had a complete full grown blast doing the Ohio Four Corners with these guys, man. Nick Holly, we had Meso Young, we had Mike. I don't know why I want to call him Money Mike, but I tell you, man, dude wiped that bike down at every single stop. This guy right there in the middle, man. Every stop, he wiped that bike down. He got a nice Honda now. I ain't gonna lie to you. That thing looked like it just rolled off the showroom floor. But we stopped for gas, he wiped that thing down. We stopped to eat, he wiped that thing down. I ain't mad at him either, because, who want the bugs sticking on that brand new paint? I'm saying, you got to do your thing, bro. Do your thing, man. And Road Runner, yeah, he earned that name, man. They weren't lying when they gave him that name, because he runs that road. Okay, let's the dark side, bro. Oh man, Nick, I'm loving it, man. I did a video on it yesterday. And let's see here. let me pop it up here for a quick minute. Can I talk to my big brother guys about this dark side thing for a minute? Y'all got a minute? Okay. Bada boom, bada bang. So we go dark side and we pop this thing on here, and I was tired of running through ties. I was running. Look at that. Okay, so but it's not. It's flat, but it's not flat. There's no transitioning, and that's why I shot this angle. This is actually how I destroyed my GoPro camera. We'll talk about that later. And so that was the tire I went to do the Ohio Four Corners on. The not this one, the other one. But that's it there going on. I ain't gonna lie. When it came in the mail, I wasn't sure it would fit. That's what it looks like. But going down the road, as you can see, man, it doesn't look much flatter than a regular motorcycle tire. Okay, so when I'm going into my curves, it feels no different. It feels no different, man. And so I am enjoying it, man. And the fact that this tire will last me at least 4 times the regular motorcycle tire is just, I'm giggly about that in and of itself. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm biking on a budget, man. Every time I replaced that motorcycle tire, I was dropping like almost $400, if not more. You know what I mean? Tire was running about $390, $350 if I'm lucky, you know. Then you're looking at about another $100 and some change when it's all said and done, getting it mounted, and to cut back some of that cost, I was start taking the tire off myself and just bringing it to the shop. But I finally bit the bullet and said, you know what, I'm going dark side. I've been talking about it for a while. I've been thinking about it for a while, doing a little research. But that's it, man. Going down the road. I do got to check my balance. I got to put some balance speeds in it. But other than that, man, I tell you, I love it, man. It's smooth. The wife said it feels softer when she's back there. Doesn't feel as hard. And so, yeah. Dark side, brothers and sisters, dark side. And I doubt if I'll be going back to a motorcycle tire. I'm about 97.5% sure I will never put another motorcycle tire on Ruby Red. I want to go ahead and I haven't pulled my trailer yet since I put it on. But I've been doing a little research and stuff, and there was a lot of people saying that if you're running a trailer, then you definitely should consider dark side anyway. And so for those of you who do not know, I do run a trailer, pull a trailer anyway, as well as a camper. And so I was tempted. I got to make a run here in just a little bit. I was tempted to hook it up just to see how it does going down the road with the trailer back there. But so far, Nick, so good, man. I'm loving it. And any of you other guys have any questions about the dark side, hit me up. I'm no expert. There is a group on Facebook called, I think it's Dark Side, Harley Davidson Dark Side or something like that. Lots of information just in case you're considering doing it. A lot of guys on the Gold Wings do it. It's nothing new. But you don't see as many folks on the Harleys doing it. And one of the reasons why is because a lot of guys who ride Harley has drunk the Kool-Aid. I'm just saying. Yeah, they drunk the Kool-Aid and think you can put nothing on it but what Harley tells you and different things like that. But I'm not that dude. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. If you are in the North Carolina area or you want to come to North Carolina to help us celebrate Biker Sunday weekend, we would love to have you as our special guest. Check it out, man. It's going down May 24th through the 26th. Upper Praise Ministries located at 442 West Moore Avenue in Mooresville, North Carolina. We're doing a meet and greet on Friday the 24th from 6 p.m. until there will also be a drive-through prayer. People will be coming through to get prayer. Look at here, man. It's motorcycle ministry with emphasis on ministry. So we got to do more than just ride our motorcycle, okay? So if I'm riding my motorcycle, X amount of 1,000 miles a year, then, as I say, my miles are a point of reference and not a badge of honor. And so we collect miles and smiles, winning souls to the kingdom 1 mile at a time, man. So we got to make sure we get in the ministry aspect of things, okay? So we're going to be doing a drive-through prayer. Look here, man, prayer works. It works. The Bible says men ought to always pray and not faint. Saturday, 10 a.m., Kickstands up, 10 a.m. sharp. We're heading down to Gastonia, folks, to join in with Dinosaur Riders and all the other guests that will be there for the Cricket Benefit Ride. Shout out to TJ and the family. We'll be seeing you guys on the 25th. And so we'll be doing that for our Unity Ride on Saturday. And then Sunday morning, Worship Explosion will start at 11 a.m. If you have not had your motorcycle blessed yet, what are you waiting for, man? Season has already started, and you need to get your bike and yourself blessed. So come and join us for Biker Sunday at Upper Praise Ministries, Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry. And just in case you're looking for a good group of folk to ride with from time to time, and you're interested, reach out to us, and we love to sit down and talk with you about becoming a part of the CAM fam. Yes, indeed. Let's make some noise. The Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry family, making it do what it do. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. We out of here, man.
Yes, sir. My man. We got you, boss man. Love you, bro. Yes, sir. Studs and Stilettos came and knocked out the NC4. Heading back to Tennessee now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Retro Philosophy Show, where I always listen to my man, 50 Grand, Pastor Retro. You know what it is.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? It's your boy Retro with you on today. And I've got a public service announcement for you. Just because you do something that you see an OG do doesn't make you an OG. And just because you get on your motorcycle and you pound from here to there doesn't make you a ground pounder either. You'll never be what you ain't. But hey, like they say in the Army, be all you can be. When you're riding and you get a call from your homie saying, yo, what you up to, where you at? Where's your location? I'm on the bike. And he said, yo, stay put, I'm coming to meet you, I'm on my bike. That's what I'm talking about, man. We out here getting miles and smiles. What's going on with you?
And as I'm riding, I got a text from my man, you know who, the man of God, Mr. Retro. He said, slow down. So I'm gonna put my rain gear on. Speak of the devil. I ain't gonna say speak of the devil. Speak of the man above. Here he come. Ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Boy. I see you've been practicing. Boy, you can tell when you've been practicing. Right on cue. Right on cue.